James looked at the plate in front of him, which was layered with numerous vegetables, nuts, and slices of meat. Next to the plate was a small bowl that narrowed on one end to allow the contents to be poured out. The first meal is typically a salad, fitting the theme of what you chose. Sam explained to James, and he was pouring the sauce onto his food. Compared to James's food, Sam's was similar to Maya's. It was some type of seafood. This also made the sauce different, likely to complement the various vegetables and meat used to create the dish. Curious about the taste, James grabbed the bowl with the sauce. Just like how Sam performed the action, the sauce was soon drizzled on top in a circular manner. Unsure how much sauce would be needed, James didn't put as much on. Even though it was a salad, there was still plenty of meat with its fatty juices dripping onto the nuts and vegetables. With one of the forks, James stabbed one of the slices of meat and got some of the vegetables. He made sure to also have plenty of sauce on it as he raised it to his mouth. What surprised him the most was how the sauce complemented the vegetables and meat so well. I thought it was going to be greasy, James thought to himself, especially with how much fat could be seen on the meat. But as he continued to chew it, there was a refreshing taste that came from the vegetables. It was still savory, but didn't make the food feel heavy. The meat also did a great job at breaking apart in his mouth with how tender it was. "How was it?" Maya asked after she had tried her seafood salad. "Want to try some?" James offered. Smiling, Maya nodded. She took a fork and grabbed some of the meat, vegetables, and sauce. As she brought the food to her mouth, she had her other hand under the fork to make sure nothing dripped and make a mess. Upon eating the food, the reaction on Maya's face was immediate. "The meat really breaks apart," James grinned. "It doesn't taste greasy at all," Maya said between bites. Grinning, James said, "That's what I was thinking too." Deciding that he enjoyed the sauce, James grabbed the bowl and drizzled even more on top. "Want to try mine?" Maya said after finishing James's food. "Thanks," James said as he used his fork to grab some of the food on Maya's plate. He hadn't had much experience eating seafood, so he was curious what the taste would be like. The first thing he noticed was how the fat on the meat tasted different. Compared to the monster meat on his plate, the fat on the fish felt as though it was melting in his mouth as it was warmed from his breath. There was also none of the oozings of the fat. He also enjoyed the taste of the sauce, which was much creamier than what was on his plate. The sauce on his plate definitely used the fat from other monsters as the base before being thickened. But the sauce for the seafood had a lighter texture. "The seafood tastes so fresh, right?" Maya grinned, seeing that James was enjoying the food on a plate. James nodded. "The sauce is so different." "It really matches the fish," Maya agreed. While eating, James noticed a slight increase in strength. "I feel like I'm getting stronger just by eating this," James said to Maya.